We are going to big Almaty Lake and we took a tour which is going by this car. It's a 1-hour drive and it's gonna be beautiful. So we are on our way to big Almaty Lake, and the tour costs around $13 per person. And what's really awesome about it is not just you're going there, you see the lake and go back. You actually have a tour, you're walking around a lot of beautiful things. One of them, or the first stop that you see, is this small village with original yurtas. It was a traditional Kazakh housing because they were moving around, and what's easy about yurta is they pack it up and they go. If they decide to make a stop or rest or just relocate to somewhere, they just put the yurta back on. Amazing thing about yurtas is they are made of this awesome material that it keeps heat inside if it's cold outside, and other way around. If it's really hot outside, you have a very cold temperature there. It's an ideal housing, actually. One of the oldest religions for Kazakh people is believing in Tengri. Tengri actually means sky, so it's kind of like a sky religion. And also it's like an environment religion, because in that religion, for example, you cannot litter, you cannot throw anything to the ground, you cannot pollute environment, you cannot pollute anything. And most importantly, they believe in this sky god, or in the sky. That's why yurtas were equipped with special ceiling, you would say, that this circle could be removed, and so you had a straight view to the sky, and it was for religion purposes. After yurtas, you take about 15-20 minute walk, and this is our second stop. The third stop is another waterfall. It's called Tears. You can see it why. Our fourth stop, intersection of two rivers. We are getting closer and closer to the snow, because now it's already next to us. And our next stop is Drunken Dream.
How it got such a name is quite funny. Next to the big Almaty Lake is a space station which was discovering space beams. Some of the workers were assigned to clean the equipment with alcohol. On Friday, when they went back home, they took some of the alcohol with them, and on Sunday they got really drunk. On Monday, when they went back to the space station with a hangover, they stopped by the stream to drink water from it, only realizing it got them drunk again. Thus the Drunken Dream was born.
And our final destination, big Almaty Lake, right between the mountains. Beautiful, isn't it? If you ever come to Kazakhstan, this is the place you have to go. You cannot describe this with words, or even in video, in vlogs. The lake was made by the earthquakes that started to shift the mountains, and the ice started to melt, and all the water started to develop this lake. You cannot swim in that lake, you cannot even put your hands into the lake because the water is extremely clean. It is actually a drinkable water, like a spring water. And unfortunately you cannot drink straight from the lake, but yeah. Mountains all around, snow, by the way, be prepared, it's really cold here. But yeah, it's amazing. And we have another day of adventure here in Kazakhstan. Today we are going to the mountain of Shymbulak, if I'm pronouncing this right, which is located in district of BAO, which is also a mountain. It's very complicated, but as you see behind me, we are going above behind this mountain where there is a much bigger mountain. It's actually a ski resort. It's very popular for the skis and snowboarders. Now, to get to the top you have to buy a ticket, and there are two ways. First, you can take a ropeway, but the ropeway will take 1 hour just to the first station. From there you have to also get higher and higher. The other way is for 3,500 tenge, which is around $9, and you will get into a minivan. This minivan will drive you straight for the first station, and from there you take a ropeway higher and higher. And it's actually the fastest way. These are the minivans. Right below the mountain, as you can see, two guys skating. Well, this is one of the biggest ice skate stadiums, and during the Soviet Union all competitions in skating were done here. Correction, Shymbulak is actually a high mountain ski resort. BAO is actually this ice skating area, which I told you about earlier. You can see it right up there. Now the mountains, each highest point or each mountain has its own name, and I don't know them, but maybe we will find out when we get there. If you are a lonely traveler, there are a lot of friends on the way you can talk to, if they are not busy eating. We are now at the top of the barrier that was built to keep the water away from the city. At the mountains, you see there's a lot of snow, and if there is an avalanche and then melting, a lot of water is coming right through here, and it can actually flood the city. So there is this barrier. If water starts to rise in the level, there are small windows that lets the water out in a really small outburst, so there is no flood. And on the other side of the barrier, you can see from above the ice skating stadium mid-L. Unfortunately now it's closed. I really wanted to go skating there, but well, I would have to come like 2 months later. So the car will drive you to the first stop, and there you will transfer yourself to these little cabins with open windows. And this will take you to the second stop, where again you will take this rope line to the final destination on the peak of, on the highest peak of the mountain. We are above the clouds, which is something you can add to your life goals. And well, now I can scratch that goal from my list because I've done it.